Whenever someone asks me what film I think showcases the landscape of cybersecurity, my answer will always be Ghost in the Shell. It was unique, breathtaking, and simply ahead of its time. What you see now with artificial intelligence, robotics, data, cyber espionage, and hacking was all referenced in the classic 1995 film. While everybody talks about how slick the animation was, the colors, and the uniqueness of the story, we seem to ignore the cybersecurity aspects of the film and what it's done for the cybersecurity industry. For me, Ghost in the Shell was prophetic, and much of the recent advancement of cybersecurity can be traced back to it. In this video, I speak about certain aspects of Ghost in the Shell and how it not only foretold the future of cybersecurity in the world we live in today, but blurred the lines between cybersecurity, self, and identity. Ghost in the Shell tells the story of a female cyborg police officer who, with a team called Section 9, hunt down the notorious hacker named the Puppet Master, a thing capable of hacking people as easily as one might hack a computer, being able to control people willingly or not, and move them around knowingly or not. Now, the Puppet Master wasn't some genius human being who knew Linux commands off the back of his head to perform his hacks. No, rather we discover that this hacker is an artificial intelligence program designed to advance intelligence and allow mankind to make the leap from humans to gods. In this world, we see that bodies are mostly artificial, shells in which they are cored. One of the few remaining biological aspects of these bodies is the brain, which retains a conscience that is known as a ghost. A ghost is essentially your mind, memories, soul, and ultimately your identity. The human brain and consciousness are the ghost within the shell. There's cyber brain casing that wraps around the human brain that allows many ghosts and shells to access the internet and other networks. Because of this, they become a part of the network of interconnected physical objects, what we know on planet Earth as the Internet of Things, IoT. The consequence of this means that these ghosts can be hacked, allowing the hacker to instruct it to do crazy things or even distort the victim's memories. While for us, the exact technology like this is probably 100 years away or longer. However, in the last 20 years, we've seen the exponential growth of the Internet of Things with smartphones, webcams, drones, and dancing robots, signifying how much we've advanced. These IoT objects I've just mentioned may not be cyborgs, but they are shells with minds of their own, capable of communicating on the internet without human intervention. These objects in fact mirror the shells in the movie in that they have a ghost, are able to think for themselves, and of course can be hacked by anyone in cyberspace. The best examples of this are electronic vehicles, as we slowly mold them to become as smart as humans so they can drive by themselves without very little human intervention. These autonomous self-driving cars, while in their early stages, have their own identities and are still capable of being hacked. There's a Vice video from a couple years back that shows a car getting hacked. We see the hacker control the car's windows amongst doing other frightening things. In fact, we see a scene of this in the movie where Kusanagi takes over the steering of a car remotely through her interconnected brain. As a 20-year-old back then watching the film for the first time, this futuristic car hacking seemed astounding and exciting. As an older security professional right now, it seems terrifying, but it offered me and other viewers a glimpse into the future. To see something that was practically impossible back then, perhaps unimaginable, to now being a reality, tells you how prophetic this film was. Ghost in the Shell tells us the frightening reality of the Internet of Things. Our problem isn't just solely rogue computers anymore, but smartphones, self-driving cars, routers, smart TVs, robots, and so on. This film tells us that in the future, this would be our new fight, not only computers, but other objects within the Internet of Things that think like humans with identities and minds of their own. These tools and objects that are supposed to make our lives easier end up empowering our enemies. I want to now pivot to the antagonist of the story, the Puppet Master itself, an artificial intelligence program capable of the most audacious, powerful, and intelligent hacks. We get several glimpses in the movie just how artificial intelligence could be used in hacking. While in the 1990s, when the film was first released, AI was making the extraordinary leap within the space of chess, speech recognition, language, the AI BO robot dog, and of course, Furby. Artificial intelligence has come a long way since then. The artificial intelligence that we use today, particularly in cybersecurity operations, powers the defensive capabilities of a SOC. Security tools such as Darktrace and CrowdStrike have emerged in the last 10 years, which use AI capabilities to determine a file's maliciousness with no previous knowledge of the file, relying instead on analysis of the file's innate properties. This is something that did not exist in the 90s, as we relied heavily on antivirus tools. So we can see artificial intelligence being used in a good way in cybersecurity. What about it being used in a bad way, just like the Puppet Master did in Ghost in the Shell? Within the last few years, hackers have been using AI to create intelligent malware programs to counter the advancements made in cybersecurity solutions and to evolve malware to become much more devastating and powerful. AI is being used to crack passwords faster through brute forcing and to conceal malicious codes in benign applications. There are lots of potential uses for AI by cybercriminals, and due to AI, there will likely be a time when distinguishing actual email and phishing attacks is nearly impossible. We now see that cybersecurity is not just man versus man or man versus AI, but what we fear the most, AI versus AI, a fight between two opposing algorithms. Ghost in the Shell shows us how dangerous artificial intelligence could be, as we see the AI, the Puppet Master, hack into the brains of cyborgs in order to obtain information and distort their memories, while also causing havoc. Ghost in the Shell shows us that the future of cybersecurity is indeed artificial intelligence, showing us that hackers will use it as a powerful weapon to cause devastating impact. Now, the connection between memories, aka your data, and identity, Shell and Ghost, is a fundamental part of the film. What do I mean by this? People in the film locate their identity in their ghosts. However, these ghosts can of course be hacked. Therefore, memories, which are your data and identity, can all be called into question. If you live in a world where your ghosts can be hacked into and mended, does your data truly reflect your identity? These are questions that are constantly asked in Ghost in the Shell and are totally applicable in our world today. The topic of how important and fragile identity is are tackled brilliantly in the film. In the world we live in today, data is king. It drives companies, in fact, even makes them billions, all because our data is our identity and it tells the world and companies who we are. Therefore, hackers fiend for data, putting their freedoms at risk to steal data just to amend it or sell it. Since hackers can successfully mold and change data to their liking, can we trust even our own data to be a reflection of our identity? Ghost in the Shell tackles this area expertly. It argues that your data, aka your memories, which represents your identity, is not certain to be completely true in the internet connected world. Who you are and what you are questions only you can answer yourself in the physical world without the fear of anyone changing what you say or even what you write on a piece of paper. The theft and manipulation of human electronic data is probably the most important topic in cybersecurity and in the film. In Ghost in the Shell, almost everyone is connected to a mass electronic network. Despite how efficient and advanced this is, they put one thing at risk: their identities, due to the dangers of their ghosts being hacked. Similar to us human beings too, as we continue to give away our data to corporations, we are also putting our identities at risk by trusting these companies to hold our data, seeing as no company is immune to being hacked eventually. Artificial intelligence, data, identity, hacking, and the Internet of Things. Ghost in the Shell was ahead of its time. The movie and the concept is a footnote of the advancement of cybersecurity in the 21st century. Now, I'm not saying that the origins of cybersecurity can be found in Ghost in the Shell. That would be completely wrong and absurd. What I'm saying is, Ghost in the Shell essentially told the future of cybersecurity and the problems the human race would be encountering today. This film also expertly blurred the lines between cybersecurity, self, data, and identity, and hopefully this video helps you to see and understand that.